Hey everyone, it's Erin Floater here, and I am here doing a little review of the Archer and Olive Blackout book. So this isn't going to be like a full in-depth review. I just kind of want to test out some pens and some markers, just go through the book a little bit and let you know that this is out there. I will have the link to it down below. The creator of Archer and Olive is actually a friend of mine, meeting on Instagram. Such a wonderful person. So I'm really excited just to take a look at this. This is the first Archer and Olive notebook that I've actually gotten. So this is going to be different for me. And I've never had a 160 GSM notebook before. So I'm quite thrilled because the thicker the paper, the less the bleed, the less the brailing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited about it. So this notebook came with this about Archer and Olive. So it's the AO story. Like I said, Bonnie is a friend of mine. So I love this cute little introduction to everything. Because of your supports, is able to donate to charities, including Austin Pets Alive and the National Alliance of Mental Health, or Alliance of Mental Health. Both of those causes, obviously keeping pets alive, totally for. And mental health, I think, is something that isn't covered enough in society, and there's still a really big stigma around it. I have mental health issues, so I think it's really important for people to be open about that. So I love that she highlights that and share your creations using the hashtag and tagging her. And then it talks about the Archer and Olive notebooks, 160 GSM pages. It means no bleeding or ghosting. Brilliant white pages to make your creations pop, except in this case, which is a blackout book. Never lose your place with 2 bookmarks. The pen loop makes it easy to throw your book in your bag and go. Each page is bound by hand and lays flat for a flawless studio quality look every time. And then it has some information on there. So this was very cute and a really welcome addition. And it's actually really well done. It's like a nice paper that this is done on. It's very glossy. So I love that this is like your first look into their products and their product line. And I bought this by myself, so this isn't sponsored or anything like that. So I want to note that, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So the Blackout book, get it undone. You know, as much as I like these nails for the wedding, I can't do anything with them, so sorry. So I believe this was the only design for the Blackout book. Like it says, no ghosting or bleeding, perfect for gel pens and even paints. 160 GSM, ultra thick black paper. Very lie flat. This book belongs to a section for me to put my name and contact information. And it just jumps right into the black pages. So this has actually been in there for a little bit. So you can see like some dusting, but it wipes right off from the sides because it's still that like nice silver side. So I'm sure it is some residue there, but it's very lie flat, which I really appreciate. So I'm just going to break in this notebook a little bit. So one of the reasons why I haven't used an Archer and Olive before is because I'm too lazy to do page numbers. So I actually might do some a little bit in this first video. I don't like when pages come like this. It always is just weird to me. But I'm just going to use this page as like a little quote page when I start using this. Drum roll for July. through December. In theory, through December. This has less pages than I typically use, so I think in my bullet journal, my June ended up at 142. So I think it would only go a few more pages. So I actually might get done around that 160 mark. So there's a chance, but I've also used pages in the back too. So I don't know. So there's a chance that I might make it all 6 months in this notebook. Fingers crossed for it. So we'll see. But I might do some of that numbering during this video. So this video, I am going to be using a lot of Jelly Roll and metallic type markers and pens just to kind of get an idea. And that's going to be the primary thing for this notebook, because I've known about the 160 GSM, but there's not a lot to review in a dotted notebook other than that, because this doesn't have index or codes or pen tests or a pocket. That's the word, a pocket for the back, which I can always install a pocket in myself, so that's not too big of a deal. And I don't really think I use it for too much. I do for my wedding bullet journal, but that's about it. I haven't really found myself using the pockets that much, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. All right, so I have some different kinds of pens over here. I have a lot of different kinds of Jelly Rolls. These are all the metallic-y ones, and then I also have just like the big old kablam Jelly Roll kit that I'm gonna test out. I also have the Kuretake Starry Colors palette that you guys have seen me use a lot here, because I'm kind of curious about the metallic paints. And then I have some off-brand Jelly Rolls. I just want to see if there's kind of a difference between the name brand and the non-name brand. So I am going to go ahead and flip to the back and start testing some stuff out. All right, I did a thorough look and I don't see any more like metallic-y kind of pens that I think I could test. And I don't think, yeah, these would be just like the classics. Okay, so this is what I've got for pens that work fairly well. I don't know if my fake jelly pens just suck or if it's just because I was storing them like this, not like this, that like it's dried up a bunch, but I decided to put these suck here. So for the jelly roll sets, the ones that will work the best are metallic and then the Moonlight. So the Moonlight actually has two different sizings for a lot of them. Actually, I think all of them. If I'm looking over here, yeah, all the Moonlight have two different sizes. So they have the 06 size, which is a finer point, and then a bold size, which is this larger point, the 10 versus the 6mm. So I like that because a lot of my headers versus my text, it will be nice to have sort of a differentiation there. So the Moonlights will probably be my go-to when it comes to that. But I do also like the metallic, and I'll try blending a little bit in a second, but I do also like the metallic for that. The Stardust I also tested because I feel like that would be good to put over something, like if I do the Moonlight and then go over the similar color and the Stardust. So I'm going to test that as well. I'm kind of waiting for the watercolor here to dry a little bit. And then the Sharpie paint pens did not bleed, which is actually, I think those are both water-based, so those are fine. But neither of those metallics bled, but the regular Sharpie, which is oil-based, did not work. And I wanted to test that just in case. And then the Kuretake brush pen, you guys have seen me use this in a couple instances, but it comes in these 5 main colors: red, blue, green, silver, and purple. And all of them worked pretty well. So these could be really good for headers because I obviously will not be able to use my Tombos in this, but you guys know how I like my lettered headers. So these might be a really good option for that. And then the Sunflower, this STA metallic brush pens, I got these on like Amazon or something. They aren't the best quality in terms of the actual brush, but they did work well on this paper. So I might use those in a couple instances as well. Then this Target, I got these at Target. I only have one that is actually pushed in for the ink. So it's these metallic paint markers that I got at Target. It comes in a few different colors. Let me see if I can fish them out. And to my knowledge, that is all of the colors. So I got these in the school and office section in Target. So it did take a little bit for me to get it to work, but now that it works, it's very similar to the metallic jelly roll as well. That did not bleed through either. The regular Sharpie paint pen, I tested the classic jelly roll. I didn't think it would work, but I figured I might as well check it just in case. And then there are also these, these are metallics, but they are this gold silver situation where like it goes down as a color, but then it all turns gold and it all turns silver. So I don't really think I'll be using those too much. I mean, those are nice for videos for Instagram because people will like it, but after a while it just turns gold or silver. So I don't know how useful that is to have a whole bunch of gold and silver ones for my tests or for my actual spreads, because then they just turn gold and silver. So you'll probably be seeing this on Instagram, but not many other places. And then the Starry Colors palette, I figured it would work, but I just wanted to test it just in case. So like I said, I tested the white gold, the light gold, and then the blue gold in that collection. It does warp the paper a bit. I did go pretty heavy on the water, and it's only warped it a little bit. So it actually holds up really nice against the watercolors. So I'm going to try some blending with these jelly rolls and layering with the Stardust and see how that turns out. All right, so I'm not the best at blending with jelly rolls. I guess I'm gonna have to practice a little bit more. But to be fair, there's like very little braille and it didn't bleed. So that's a good sign. But I know that Bonnie did one on her YouTube site. So I'm gonna try to link that down below about how to blend with jelly rolls, and I will have to take a look at that video also because I thought it would be easier than this, but it's a little bit harder than I anticipated. And then I realized I was going over it in the metallic one, not the Stardust one that I wanted to test in. So that actually got a pretty cool effect. But the Stardust one, it has like that pixie dust kind of look to it. Well, I guess it's called Stardust, but it still keeps the brighter color a little bit more, but it adds that little Stardust pixie dust that you would see, like, that reminds me of Peter Pan kind of. So like it keeps that brighter color, but then has the elements of the Stardust. So I'm gonna try to zoom you up a little bit so you can see. Maybe you can't, I don't really know. This lighting's not the best either. So it actually works pretty well. So I might use that in a couple instances. So I will have to keep that in mind, and I will have to make a note to myself here. And then the blending does get a really cool effect. I also think I needed to slow down maybe a little bit more while I was blending it and try to blend a smaller section. But I'm just not used to it yet. So I'm gonna have to experiment quite a bit before I start with this bullet journal in July. So thank you guys for joining me. I know this was kind of an unorthodox review of sorts. It was really just kind of like a pen review and how it is used against here, because I really wanted to test a lot of this stuff before I start using this. So I will keep you guys in mind and keep letting you know new things I find out while I am working in this bullet journal. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys are excited about me using a Blackout notebook, hopefully for 6 months, because it really does give such a cool look, and I am intrigued by it because I have been relying pretty heavily on my themes, and I wonder how I can translate themes and drawings with doing them in jelly rolls and not my Tombos. So I'm a little intrigued about how it's gonna work. I'm gonna test some more stuff in here, and I hope this video helps you guys out a lot. I will have the link to this Blackout notebook down below, the link to Archer and Olive's YouTube channel down below. Please go support Bonnie. She is a wonderful person, and I will have the links that I used for all of the jelly rolls, which was on Amazon, and I'll try to get as many links as possible to all of these doodads that I've collected over the years that are somewhat metallic. So thank you guys for joining me like, subscribe, notification bell, all that kind of jazz. And I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.